Joined now by one of the newest members of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He is Saskatoon Blades forward, Brandon Lisowsky. Brandon, let's go back to the week of the draft and tell me about it. I mean, a pick of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Tell me, what your reaction was when you saw your name flash across the screen, and how excited you are to be a part of the Leafs organization.
No, yeah, leading up to draft week, obviously, I was kind of staying in my same routine. Was just training in the gym and doing my ice session. So nothing really changed. But no, definitely when I was back at home or not on the ice, it kind of was that's always on my mind. Everything was just about the draft and everything. So it was anxious and nervous, but I think more excitement and just enjoying the moment was more of the main part of it. But no, it's so exciting when you hear your name called, and I was watching at home with family and friends, so which was awesome to have those people around me to supporting me along the way up to this point. So it was awesome moment, and to be drafted by Toronto Maple Leafs, it's a historic franchise, and being Canadian, the kids kind of grew up watching the Maple Leafs, so especially my dad did the same thing. So it's been it was awesome experience, and I can't wait to get started on Friday.
You talked through it. You were at home with family, and I'm sure with some friends as well, kind of watching things proceed on Friday morning, Brandon. But just tell me how special it was to be able to share that moment with the people closest to you.
Yeah, the family side, all the people that put thousands of dollars into to me to play hockey and make sacrifice. My parents and grandparents, my brother, to make sacrifices on that part to make this thing happen for me. So, I can't appreciate, your family enough, but I think the friends part was also huge. Guys that I played Pee Wee Bantam with at the Burbank Winter Club, my old buddies that came over. So that was an awesome moment, because obviously they helped me as well throughout the process as well. So I can't thank them enough as well.
You had 33 goals with the Blades last season. You led the team in playoff scoring as well. What do you think are some of the things in your game that, maybe caught the Leafs' attention and kind of convinced them to use a draft pick on you?
Yeah, I know I think they have a lot of offensive, skilled, talented players on that team. So I kind of, I'm an offensive player, obviously. I like to use my speed, I like to use my shot. I think they saw just my hardworking determination on the ice, and just I'm fast and got a quick release, hard shot. But again, I guess I'm an undersized forward, but I'm not afraid to go in the corner with the guy that's 6'3", 6'4", and battle with them. So I think that's also an aspect that they liked as well. So
now, at the start of last season, there were a couple of NHL drafted players on your team. I know there was a bit of wheeling and dealing done by your general manager in Saskatoon, but you finished the season with, the likes of Tristan Robbins and Josh Pillar on your team. But you cemented yourself in that top six in Saskatoon this year. I mean, it had to have been a heck of an opportunity for you. And when you look back on your season in Saskatoon, I mean, what do you make of the fact that you pretty much took advantage of every opportunity that was given to you?
Yeah, no, definitely as a new coach coming in with Brandon, every guy had to prove himself and where they sit in the team. So I thought having a good start was super important with a new coaching staff. And yeah, you're a young player, I'm only 17 and stuff. So, there's 18, 19-year-olds that could, take your spot or whatever. So you kind of had to, start of the year, had to work for your spot. And that's what I did well, and cemented myself in the top six.
Now, as you look to the Blades and you look ahead to next season, I mean, this is a team that's enjoyed some pretty solid leadership over the past few years with the likes of Chase Waters, who you got to play with in the bubble a couple of years ago, and of course Tristan Robbins, who we mentioned earlier, who have both graduated and moved on. But now as you prepare to come back next season as a bit of an older player, I mean, how excited are you to take on even more of a leadership role with the Blades?
Yeah, that was definitely something that was said kind of near the end of the year and in my exit interview with the Blades. Taking that next step and being a leader, and, mentoring guys that, the 16, 17-year-olds that, now that, I'm drafted now in the NHL, those are some kids that, the new guys that invites, at camp or whatever this summer that could, come to me for advice or whatever, and kind of tell them the process to help them, make the team and be a good junior hockey player. If you need advice and stuff, I could be there for them. And that was one thing. Yeah, being a leader in the community and leader in the dressing room is super important. And yeah, taking that next step as an 18-year-old this year. I want to be a big leader for the Blades this upcoming season.
You mentioned it off the top, Brandon, about being an undersized player. But as we're speaking today, it's the first day of NHL free agency, and arguably the top free agent is an undersized forward in Johnny Gaudreau. I mean, when you look at the way that his career or players like him, have been able to find success in the NHL, I mean, how much more motivation does that give, someone like you, or where it really is all about skill now and not necessarily about your frame or your size, or it's more about kind of what's inside you in terms of your drive and your compete.
Yeah, no, definitely. Johnny was some guy that I always watched during the playoffs on Calgary. I always kind of watch a game and always pick out a guy that I could be a guy that's undersized in the NHL. So I love watching guys like them. But no, I think just being undersized, just you always got to keep proving people. You always got to keep, being better than a guy that's 6'2", 6'3", that's, maybe has 20, 30 pounds on you. So you got to be smarter. You got to protect pucks, well. You got to, shield the puck better than a guy with, a long stick. So you got to be quick. You got to be fast. That's the only, way you can, move to the next level. But then also, it's mind too. You got to be, you want it more than the next guy. You got to be more determined, more passionate than the other guy. So that's, what I, preach and what I train for in the summer. So it's being undersized forward.
My last one for you, Brandon. I mean, you're off to Toronto here as we speak in a couple of days to go take part in the development camp, your first kind of taste of what life will be like in the Leafs organization. But as you look ahead to the rest of the summer and potentially an NHL training camp for real here in September, what are some of the things that you're focusing on in your off-season training as far as looking to build on what you accomplished last year and through the draft here and looking ahead to the fall?
Yeah, no, I think off ice training, and I think I'm a pretty fast straightaway player. But I think one thing that I've been, a weakness that I would like to work on this summer is kind of lateral movement. That was one thing that I want to work on. You can be, you can't really fix your height, but I like to have more of a, power. I'm working on my core as well. So being, harder to knock off pucks, harder to get pucks off me. That's two things that I think I've been, working on this summer. And, on ice, I always can work on your shot, making different ways to change angles of your shot and try to, be a better finisher. And, I think using, your feet and stuff to manipulate players and changing your angle of feet are things that I work on and off the ice this summer. So leading into next season.